All right, how exciting is this? This is our skin all dried up and tightened down. This was one of the most stressful parts I had in my brain, and I'm glad that it's over. I love the look of this skin. It still has a little bit of hair on it. I haven't shaved it all the way down because on a couple of dots on the edge, when I shaved it super close, it actually takes the pigment down to where you can't see the dots as dramatically. So if it affects the sound, I'll start shaving it down a little bit, but I can do that afterwards. What I'm working with now, here's our little pot. What I'm working with now is linking this up. I've got this glued in, like how it's focusing on something random. There we go. I've got this glued up and in, and so now I'm trying to get a dead fit. And what I mean by that is I want to make sure this fits in exactly where it's supposed to, so I get the correct neck angle and it's not in some wild location, you know, causing all sorts of drama. So I've got a pin that goes in the back here to make sure it's in the right spot. Well, there we go. And what I want to make sure is that this is not riding anywhere weird. So what I'm going to do is I have a piece of carbon paper. You can also do this with chalk. You can do this however you want it. There's a lot of ways to fit these things. This is one of my favorite ways. So I'll drift this little piece of thin paper in there, just like so. I'll make sure this is cinched up nice and tight. I'm going to push it against my body actually. And I can feel where it's actually trapping. So if I loosely do it, I can drag it and get a mark. And I can see that mark. Yeah. Right there on my edge. It's gonna be hard to see on camera, but it's right there on my edge. And so now I can just grind away that mark, stick it back in there, and do it again until I get marks everywhere. And I know that I'm getting a solid fit up. I wanna make sure that it fits as stable as possible. For once the string tension is on there, you don't want that wiggling. Yeah, so I'm gonna sit here and fiddle with this for a while. Once again, I'll kind of stick that in there, make sure it's not hitting anything until we can narrow it down. So I'll just grind this away and I'll refit that and then check on with y'all in a little while. All right, I've got this part all fit up now, so we're good to go. I need to do some cleanup on here, but I'm gonna do that when I finish off all the carving. What I'd little like to do is I'm going to cover up this heel cap, which was my intention from the beginning. I left this unshaped because I knew it's going to fit around the pot. So I'm going to use a piece of red heart, which is what the fingerboard is made out of. And so I have a little piece here, and all I'm going to do is trace out my shape that I want. I'm going to cut it, and then that way I can actually laser and stamp my logo and stuff on there before I glue it. That makes my life a lot less stressful because if I mess it up, I'm not messing up the final thing. So we'll trace this little guy out. It's not a big piece, it's just a little one. And then I can just bandsaw that out and have that ready to go. Okay, there we go. And I don't have to be exact here, I just want to make sure that I'm in that range so that once I glue it on I can do the final shaping, so I'll let that overhang just a little bit. But that gives me my basic shape. Okay, so steps. I'm going to cut this downstairs on my bandsaw and get that roughed out. Then, what's what I have to do? I'll start smoothing this guy out is what's next. And then I got to actually do more carving. So first we'll start here and then we'll move on to all that jazz. All right, I've got the heel cap cut out and all I'm doing is just marking for myself a cut line. This is not the safest size to resaw on a power tool, and so I'll be just hand cutting it and then planing it smooth. So once I have my line done, as I can see, I'm just gonna put it here in my vise and cut it halfway through one side, flip it halfway through the other, and we'll show what it looks like. Now, I use a lot of Western style saws as well as Japanese style saws. And so this one This Ryobi has a cross-cut side and a rip side. I actually like to start my groove cross-cut, finish it rip in this case. Now the reason I started it on this side that way is that my blade has a kerf to follow around that side while I eye this side. So now I'm going to pinch that little edge and clip the other half. And there we go. So this guy now goes away, and then I'll clean this up with a hand plane, and this will become our heel cap. Now my goal here is to get it flat, and so just from the saw, just to take off anything extra. So I'm working across the grain, not with the grain or against it, because I have a knot right here in the middle, and so it's swirling around that side. So I'd be a lose-lose on one way or the other. So the motion that I'm making is across the grain, but also circular. This will keep it flat, and it keeps the blade on a skew to keep from getting so much tear out. I'm not worried about spelching, which is like where you blow out the edge of the wood right here. Because this is oversized, it's gonna be glued down. You'll never see it, I'll trim it off. So we'll take a few passes like this. Make sure it's dead flat. Now, I'll put my laser logo in it and glue it on. All right, I gotta say, it is nice holding this thing. It's the first time it's really been together. I think it's gonna look sharp, but I have to glue on the heel cap. And so I've got that little laser logo put into there, if my camera will behave. There we go. So that's ready to go. I'll get that glued on in place right here, and then I can tailor fit everything. So easier than kind of sculpting the bottom edge is being able to glue that on. So I'll glue this in place. I'm just gonna put a little wood glue on it and clamp it, and then once it's out of the clamps, we'll be able to look at it. All right, so I need to take out some of the background. You can see where there's red. I need to take out the background and actually get some carving stuff done. I'm going to an event tomorrow in Louisville, Kentucky for a maker's fair. I did it last year, it was really great, and they invited me back. And so I want to have something to do while I'm sitting there, so I'm going to do all the detail carving while I'm there. But I need to get the machine carving done just to eliminate the background. That's the worst part. So I use these little burr bits on a rotary tool, and all I'm going to do is just sit here and kind of hog it out. So let me get my respirator on and my ear protection on, and we'll knock that out. Okay, here's where we're at right now. you can see I've got most of the background hogged out, and that allows me to kind of sculpt and shape those little areas like little blueberries and flowers and stuff. I'm not making them hyper detailed. I have a whole nother video. If you look in the tea kettle banjo build, I go through carving some leaves and a bunch of other stuff in a heel carving that's a little more intricate than this. So if you want to see that, make sure to give that a watch. But yeah, I'm going to start doing this now. Tomorrow I'm going to be, or no, later, yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be sitting out, like I said, at a maker's fair, carving this with some hand tools. So I just want to get the power tool stuff out of the way. So next time you see this, these will be more shaped and a little better looking, right? So like I said, check out the other video if you want to see how I do it, because I can't film it tomorrow. But we'll move forward. I got to trim up the neck here. We got still lots of stuff to do. So stay tuned. We'll see what we got. All right, after about 4.5 hours or so, here's where I'm at. I've got most of my shapes kind of rounded in for these flowers and berries. I was doing blueberries, but the little sprouty part on the fruit was ridiculously stupid in this cherry. So I cut those off, just made them round berries. Yeah, it looks really rough in the shadow, but what I'm gonna do here is smooth these out with some sandpaper, and then I'll be stippling the background. And I've shown that in videos before, but I'll show it again. It's a fun process. So let's get into some sanding. The main thing I'm sanding are these stems to round them over, because as the grain changes, I don't want to chip anything out with a chisel. So it's a little easier, since it's so small, just to sand them to be round to get the kind of final profile. So that's primarily what I'm doing here. After this, the next step is also going to be to clean up some of these corner areas. And I have a different chisel for that. I'll show off here in a second. Ooh, I just had an idea. I don't know if it's a bad idea or a good idea. It might be really distracting, but I might inlay some little dots for the strawberry, because there's a strawberry on here, and if I just carve the little dots in there, it might cheapen it. But I wonder if I could put some little inlaid dots in there. That would be easy enough to do. The question is what color? Because normally seeds on a strawberry are black. I don't know if I have anything black. I gotta think about that. Alright, so once these shapes start smoothing out, see a little strawberry, and I'm gonna leave the chisel marks on the leaves because I think they look good. But I'll smooth the rest out, and I'll catch up with you in a second and show you the chisel for cleaning corners. Alright, so here's what we're looking at, is I need to clean up the tiny little corners here and there, especially, it's hard to show on camera, right in here. And so you don't have, let's show you the scale. This is an 1/8 inch chisel, right? And it's too big to get into places. So I have a mortise chisel I made many years ago. That's a dovetail style chisel, or fishtail, to where I can get into tiny places, but that is still not tiny enough. So I used the tool that I made years and years ago for putting in purfling corners. And I'll see if I can zoom in on this. It's really difficult because it's tiny. It's a little under a 1/16 of an inch wide, and it's a chisel made from an X-Acto blade. It's one of my favorite tools that I use in the shop. So let me see if I can zoom in just a hair to show you that. But otherwise, if I can't, we'll start chiseling all of this little corners just to clean up everything, and then we should be about ready for stippling. There you can see it. There's that tiny little chisel on the end of that blade, and that's what I'm going to use to clean up all these little inside areas that I can't get to otherwise. So I'll stab at these for an hour or so, and then show you the finished results. I'm going to do just a very subtle kind of groove that goes around, so it makes this little heel cap feel rounded. So I'm going to carve on that for a second. We'll knock this out. as it goes downhill here. I like that. That's starting to look good. So I'll do that all the way around. Alright, so I got the groove all the way around here. I like the way that looks. If it wouldn't inhibit play, I'd groove the whole side. I think that could be kind of cool. Maybe a future build. But what I'm doing now is stippling this. And some people do this with a machine. Some people do it with the tip of a drill bit, a really tiny drill bit. There's all sorts of ways. But the way that I have found that I enjoy is actually almost like an old tattoo style, like a Tibetan tattoo, like a tap tattoo. So what I do is I take a little hammer and I hold this little stick out with a nail in it that's been sharpened up on a grinder. And I'm tapping it knowing that it's going to pop back out, it's going to rebound. Okay, doesn't look like much, but I'm going to do this whole little section here, and you'll see what it looks like in a second. It takes a little bit of time, but I really enjoy it. So we'll start tapping away. So you can see how that's turning out now. I think it's gonna look sharp. That really differentiates the background from the foreground in here. And once it's oiled, that'll even go a little darker. And I can stain that if I want it to go even darker. So, I'm gonna sit here for the next while and tap the living bejesus out of this with my little finger hammer and my stippling tool. And I'll check in with you all later. So we'll do a little time lapse of this now, I guess, for a little bit. And we'll see how much you guys get to see. And then I'll check in with you when it's all done. Alright, I think y'all get the point. So, let me finish all this off camera, and then we'll show you the result. Alright, here's where we are. I've got it all stippled up. It's about ready for the first coat of finish on oil. But I need to do a couple things. One, I'm going to put some dots in the strawberry that are white, that'll match the side dots for the fret markers. I also have to put in the fret markers. I've already sanded up the scoop a little bit. So that's ready to go. I've got my little groove in here I think I like. It's like a nice little subtle detail. So the next step will be drilling the strawberry holes and drilling the holes for the fret markers. And then I got to figure out the actual, or the side dots, then I got to figure out the actual fret markers. So let me move the camera, set you up so you can see it. It's a really simple process, so we'll go ahead and do that.